Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about my best and worst purchases of 2025. I do this video every single year. I will leave the previous year's versions down below in case you're interested. I actually did a mid-year check-in halfway through this year to talk about my favourites from the first 6 months of the year. So this is going to mostly focus on all of the purchases, good and bad, I made in the second half of 2025. This video is also kindly sponsored by Idyl, so there'll be a little bit more on them later. Let's kick it off on a positive note. As always, one of my favourite purchases of 2025 has to be from this small brand. I always find when I make a purchase from a small little brand, I almost never regret it. It always feels just that little bit more special as opposed to buying a purchase from a bigger brand. And that is my gilet from By Soren. I absolutely adore this. I feel like it is just so cute, so perfect, especially for the transitional seasons in autumn and in spring. I love the pattern. I think they've actually restocked this version of it. I know when I bought this and I showed it originally, it was out of stock. I got one of the last ones, but I think since then they've done a restock of this particular colorway in both the gilet and they do it in a long sleeved jacket version. So if you liked it when I first showed it, but you couldn't get your hands on it, then I would potentially look again because it might be there now. I just think they're such a special little brand. They're a British brand. They make them in very small batches in the UK. And again, it always feels really special to buy a piece from them. I definitely have some other pieces on my future wardrobe wish list for sure. But yes, very thrilled with the gilet and I love everything. It's just gorgeous quality. The buttons are beautiful. The fit is beautiful. The wool is gorgeous. So very pleased with this one indeed. Let's balance it out now with a not so good purchase, unfortunately, and it is a pair of shoes. I find that my shoe purchases more often than not are regretful purchases. I do have one good shoe purchase of 2025 to show you, but I impulse bought these, which is probably why I regret them, just before an event I had in October. I needed a formal shoe. I really don't own any formal shoes. I own like sandals, but they're really summery. I don't own anything that I can wear in a more wintry, colder environment. So I had to buy something and I saw these on, I think, a Substack of a fashion stylist, really liked them. And I thought, because they're a collaboration with a brand that I do like, Alex Mill, they're Alex Mill for Margot, which I think is a New York-based shoe brand. I thought I would really like them. And in principle, I do really like them. I think they're very sleek, they're very elegant, they're beautiful. The quality of them is lovely. I love that it's a really small kitten heel, so it's very walkable. I love the pointed toe and the open back design, but I found when I wore these, and I've only worn these once, they're quite difficult to walk in despite being a very low heel, and I think it must be the open back design. I think it's taught me that I just don't really get on with this open back because for whatever reason I just cannot keep my foot inside this shoe. It feels like I have to clench my feet, you know, when you're clenching your feet to walk in a shoe, and it just feels like I'm walking awkwardly and I can't quite keep the shoe on my foot, which is such a shame because otherwise they're very comfortable. They didn't give me blisters, and as I said, they are beautiful quality, a very classic design, something that I could have in my wardrobe for a long time if only they actually fit a little bit better. So definitely a regret purchase, and inevitably one that comes from buying something very last minute. I always find, I know there's the kind of thing on Instagram where they're like, buy the dress for the dress, not for the occasion. So if you see a really beautiful occasion wear dress, just buy it even if you don't have anywhere to wear it, because inevitably the time to wear it will come, and when you do have the occasion you won't be able to find anything you like. And I do find that's quite often the case when I'm buying stuff really last minute. There's something that's just maybe not quite right about it, and if I'd done a little bit more research I would have found something better. So yes, unfortunately I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with these. I don't know whether to keep them and persevere next time I have an event or sell them on. Let me know what you think. I'm going to take a little break to talk about Idyl now, as they are sponsoring this video. I did a jewelry favourites video recently, you might have caught it, and I spoke heavily about Idyl in that video as well because they have made up some of my favourite jewelry of 2025. They are a mainstay in my collection. They make the most beautiful lab diamond pieces. I love myself a diamond. I'm very much someone who wears diamonds every day, not just for special occasions, as I think you should if you like jewelry. I feel like they're too nice to save for the special occasion. Wear them every day, and I feel like with Idyl pieces, they're beautiful, they're timeless, but they are simple in nature, and so they can be worn dressed down quite casually as well as dressed up, depending on the pieces you choose. Because they're modular as well, you can get the simple studs for every day, and then if you want something a little bit more glam for an evening event, you can add on the additions like I have today. I've got the Ono additions in the diamond studs, and they create just a beautiful, more sparkly effect. Some of my favourite pieces from Idyl are their necklaces. I love myself a necklace, and this solid solitaire round diamond. It's 1/2 carat set in 14 carat yellow gold. Is one of my all-time favorites in my collection. I love that the 1/2 carat gives it a little bit more presence on the neck compared to a really, really tiny little diamond. A lot of the time when you're buying fine jewelry like this, you are, going for like 0.1 carat, maybe 0.2, whereas because this is 0.5, it just packs a little bit more punch and sits really beautifully on the neck, and it very much is like a piece on its own. You don't have to layer this. I feel like it's special enough to just wear independently like that. I love that all of the Idyl pieces, also you can choose them in yellow, white or rose gold. I have a few white gold pieces that I love. I have this gorgeous marquise diamond similar to this, but a marquise set in white gold, which is really beautiful for when I want to wear something cooler. Day to day, I'm more of a yellow gold person if I had to choose, but I love having a variety in my jewelry collection, and I do love mixing metals as well. I talked about the Ono earrings. These are some of my favorites. I have a few different editions from Idyl for their diamond studs, and these are my particular favorites because you get the most of them because they sit flush on the ear, whereas a hoop sometimes I feel like can be a little bit hidden because you see it from the side, whereas because these sit flush, you can really see all of the beautiful round diamonds in them, and I love the slightly organic squiggly way that they are set. I think it's really unique and pretty. And then also I love their ear cuffs. I've talked so much about their ear cuffs, so I won't go on about them too much because no doubt you've heard me speak about them before, but I do really love them for adding more dimension and interest to an ear look, especially when you don't have additional piercings like me. It just creates so much more visual interest and sparkle. Perfect again for the festive period that we've just had, or New Year's as well, or just, like me, if you like to wear your diamonds every day. Idyl are female founded, they are female run, they pick just the top few percent of lab diamonds to work with, and all of their diamond jewelry is made in Antwerp, which is the diamond capital of the world. If you would like to check out any of my Idyl pieces, I will link them all down below, as well as the Idyl website. Do have a browse. I'm someone who loves to treat myself to a piece of jewelry for my birthday every year. It's kind of a tradition I've had for the last few years. I buy one piece of jewelry to mark each birthday, and it is my birthday in January, at the end of January coming up, so I will be adding something new to my collection, and it might just be from Idyl. I have a few things on my Idyl wish list. I love their rings in particular. I will leave all of the pieces linked down below, and I do have a discount code as well, which gets you 10% off your order. Let's move back to another best purchase of 2025. What shall I talk about next? I feel like I want to talk about... Let's talk about this dress. Now, this is a more recent purchase. I bought this in the Black Friday sales. So I've only had it about a month or so, but I've worn it so many times in that month period that I had to put it in this video. One of my favourite pieces I've bought from Madewell for sure. I find Madewell can be a little bit hit or miss. Some of their pieces I love. Their jeans and their denim generally I love. Their shoes I love, but some of their tops and stuff I think are a bit hit or miss, the quality is just okay and the price point's quite expensive. But this dress I really think is beautiful. I saw it on an influencer, fell in love with it, bought it, and even though she has a very different body type to me, it suits both of us really well. I feel like it's one of those dresses that kind of would suit anyone because of the way it's cut. It skims the waist, it flares out at the hip. It's just very elegant and casual. I like a denim dress because they're casual, they're easy to wear, they don't feel too dressed up day to day, but you can definitely dress them up as well. I actually had fun tying a silk scarf around my waist when I wore this the other day as like a makeshift belt. I saw a lot of people doing this over in the summer, and I never had the chance to do it in the summer, but I thought, hey, I'm going to do it in the winter. And I have this silk scarf, which is a little bit more wintry because it's got brown tones in it, and I thought it looked really cool as a makeshift belt. But obviously you could also just put a regular belt on as well. I also feel like the dress doesn't need a belt because it is naturally cinched, which I quite like as someone who doesn't always love to wear a belt. I find belts just can be quite suffocating sometimes, and especially if I'm just at home or I'm just running errands, I don't really feel like I want to wear a belt. So it's nice that this dress doesn't need one. So I would highly recommend. I also noticed after I bought this that they brought out a new version of this dress. I think it's a brown corduroy version, exactly the same dress but in brown corduroy. Very tempted by that one as well. Okay, moving on to a worst purchase. I really don't have that many worst purchases. I was kind of clutching at straws. I feel like I've not made that many regretful purchases this year, which is good. Not so good for this video, but good overall. One I thought about when I was looking through my wardrobe thinking, what haven't I worn much this year that I have bought? Probably this trench coat from Palome sprung to mind. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. I still stand by that it is a beautiful trench coat. I love the lining. It's a very good alternative to the Suzanne Clyde if you are are looking at that one, but you want something a little bit cheaper. It's about £100 cheaper than the Clyde, and it's basically the same coat with a different lining. I just feel like it's a little bit stiff for me, which is something that I noticed after I wore it a few times. When I had the Suzanne Clyde, I had it in the green colour, and that one is actually a viscose cotton blend, and it's a softer coat. It drapes, it's a little bit more flowy and drapey, whereas the Palome one and the Suzanne Clyde that is 100% cotton, because they're cotton, they're a little bit stiffer, and I just find it's not as floaty, and I think it's made me realise I prefer a slightly softer, drapier trench coat over a really stiff one. I have one from Petite Studio, which is a similar beige colour, but it's a lot softer and thinner, and I always reach for that one over the Palome one. So I think it is just the drapiness of the Petite Studios one. It like flows really nicely behind you, whereas the Palome one is just a little bit structured and stiff for me, and it just doesn't drape as nicely. But it's not a bad coat by any means. So it's just something that I probably didn't need to buy, and if I had my time again, I probably wouldn't have bought it. I have a lot of jackets in this video for some reason, so that was a worst purchase jacket. And then I spoke about the gilet, which was a best purchase. Another best purchase was a Vinted find. So many of my best purchases of this year honestly have come from Vinted. Secondhand shopping is where it is at. I want to do even more of it when I do shop in 2026, and really prioritise it before shopping new. This jacket that I bought a couple of months ago, I'm not even sure I've shown this on my channel yet, I don't think I have, is a suede jacket that I found on Vinted. Now, funnily enough, I've been searching for a suede jacket for months and months. Tried the Suzanne ones, I didn't like those. I tried one from Reformation, which I really thought I was going to like. It was in the Black Friday sale. Didn't like it. It just wasn't quite right. And then I saw this one on Vinted, and it is actually really similar to the Reformation one I tried. It's a similar kind of style in that it's more of a barn jacket in suede. And actually, when I was searching for a suede jacket just regularly for the last couple of months, this one kept popping up on my Google recommended, the ads on Google. And I kept staring at it and thinking, yeah, it's gorgeous, but it's £1,000. It's from Gant, which is primarily, I think, a men's brand, but they do women's wear. And it kept coming up on my Google ads, and I was like, yeah, it's stunning. It's what I'm looking for, but it's £1,000. It's £1,045 new, which is crazy. I think it's actually in the sale now for about 600, but even so, I was not prepared to spend even 600 on a suede jacket. My top end was like 400. So I kept looking, and then randomly, as often happens, I feel like my Vinted algorithm really knows me. This popped up on my Vinted it was for £300. And I managed to get her down to, I think it was 230 I ended up paying for this, which I was thrilled with, considering it is, as I said, over £1,000 brand new. It's a beautiful suede jacket. It's heavy, it's oversized, it's got this brown leather collar in the same kind of colour. Usually these collars are like a contrast colour, but this one is more in the same colour as the suede, and I just love it. I haven't worn it too much because obviously it's suede and we're in winter now, so I can't really wear it when it's raining, but when it hasn't rained I have worn it, and I'm going to wear this a lot in the spring and autumn. It's one of those pieces that will be in my wardrobe forever. Now I've found the perfect one. I wanted one in a more casual style. As much as I do like the cropped ones and the ones that are a little bit more preppy, I just found that I tend to reach for my barn jackets, my Alex Mill barn jackets. I reach for those all the time. I just find that style suits my lifestyle better. I live, somewhat in the countryside. I don't need anything too formal a lot of the time. So I wanted my suede jacket to almost act like a casual barn jacket. And so this is the perfect one for me. Thrilled with it. Can't believe I got it for £230. Really, really chuffed with that. And as I said, Vinted is the way forward for shopping in 2026. Okay, I actually only have one more worst purchase, and then I've got a few more best purchases because we are way skewed towards the best purchases. The last worst purchase that I could think of is also a pair of shoes. I told you, when I buy shoes, I'm really bad at it. I always pick the wrong ones. Can you guess what they are? It is the Suzanne Valentine Mary Jane's flats. Now there's nothing wrong with these. I just don't wear them because, well, one of them is slightly too small for me. I have one foot half a size bigger than the other, and I just feel like I needed half a size up in these for them to both fit comfortably. And they don't do half sizes on Suzanne, obviously. I don't know. I just don't find myself reaching for them that much. When I wear flats, I'm tending to reach for my loafers. I have a pair of loafers from Madewell. Now, they were gifted to me, so I didn't include them in this video because this is all stuff I bought myself. Just by the way, I haven't included anything gifted, just because even though I've been gifted some really lovely stuff that I've won loads, it kind of is a different relationship you have with items you're gifted, right? Whether that's as presents or from brands, if you're a creator, compared to things you spend your own, you know, cold hard cash on. But I do love them, and I do reach for those over these a lot more. Don't really know why. I just like them. They're more comfortable actually, so probably why. But yeah, I have worn these a few times, but I don't know. I just don't know how much more wear I'm going to get out of them. And again, they were a little bit of an impulse purchase. I don't know. Me and Suzanne shoes don't always get along. They're a good quality shoe. I just like, I think it's more the fit than anything, which 9 times out of 10 it is for shoes, right? If they don't fit quite well, you're not going to reach for them. So I might end up selling these on my Vinted. If I do, I will leave them linked down below in case you're interested. And in case you are a true UK 5, I'm more of a 5.5, almost a 6, which is why they're a little bit snug on me. But if you are a true 5, I'm happy to sell these to you for fairly cheap. So let me know. Best purchases, I have to include my Christy Dawn cardigan. I bought a few of these this year. I bought 4 of these in 2025. Bit ashamed to say that, but it did work out because they did send me one as well. They sent me the black one because they'd obviously seen that I spent a ridiculous amount of money on Nola cardigans this year. My favourite one of all of them is the cream, which is why this is the one I'm including. I love them all. I do love the black one they sent me actually, a little bit more than I thought I would, even though I'm not a massive black clothing wearer. But if I had to pick just one, it would be the cream. It's just the most beautiful, luxurious cardigan. There's something about it. I love it. I know some people really don't like it. I love it, which is what fashion is all about, right? We're all different, and if we all wore the same thing, it would be very boring. So if you don't like it, that's totally fine. But I really love them, especially over dresses, as like they're just so good in the UK, because I find in the spring and autumn, you know, you need something. If you're wearing a dress, you need something over it, and they're just a nice alternative to a jacket. They're a little bit more feminine, I find, than a jacket. So I often wear them if it's dry in replace of a jacket, because they are very, very heavy and quite warm. So yeah, I love that one. Now I know I said I would talk most about purchases I've made in the second half of the year, but I did have to do a quick shout out to my Grace APC bag. I did mention this in my check-in video as one of my best purchases, and it is still probably, I don't want to say it's my best purchase of 2025, but it actually might be. I feel like if you are looking for a crossbody bag in this messenger style, this is the one to go for. I have tried so many of these style of bags over the years, and I've tried them from Suzanne, I've tried them from other brands that I can't remember right now, Celine even, I've had a Celine one of these, and just nothing beats the APC Grace bag in my opinion. I've used this is probably my most used bag of 2025, and it looks basically unworn, and if I compared it to my Suzanne Claude, for example, or my Suzanne Milo after a year's wear, there is definitely more wear on those than on this. I just find this is very hard wearing. The leather is very thick, so I don't think it scratches as easily. The hardware does scratch, but I mean all of this shiny hardware scratches. But it's just really beautiful, and the leather itself just looks basically as new, and the colour selection they have is so fun. I don't think they do this pink one anymore. A few of you have asked me about this one. I can't find this one anymore, but they have loads of really interesting colours, like beautiful greens, oranges, blues, really unique, beautiful colours that you can't really find elsewhere. So yeah, if I was going to recommend one bag to you of 2025, I think it would be, oh, it's hard, but I think it would be this one. It's probably a little bit cheeky to include this bag because I've only had it for a couple of weeks, but I do have to do a special mention to my Ralph Lauren Polo ID bag that I unboxed recently. I've just completely fallen in love with this bag. It's been the only bag I've used the last couple of weeks, and I just love it, although I did get a mark on it already. I don't know if you can see there. I got a mark on the suede from some lip gloss. Oh, so annoying because I'd only just bought it, but it's one of those bags, with suede, you just have to kind of relax a little bit and accept that the marks add character to the bag. That's what I tell myself. But yeah, I love it. I just love everything about it. I will probably do like an updated, thoughts on this bag when I've had it a few months, just to talk a little bit more about the wear and tear, because it is an expensive bag. Same with the APC. They're on the more expensive side of mid-range, but they are probably my 2 favourite bags I've bought this year, so that says something. I think if you spend a little bit more, not all the time, but sometimes, you just get those design details and that quality that you can't quite get at the lower end of mid-range all the time, and I'm thrilled with this. So yeah, if you want a full unboxing, that is on my channel. Just go to my channel page. One shoe purchase that I did get right, thank God, I did make one good shoe purchase this year, are my duo boots. I can't remember what the style name of these. They're the Western style ones in the dark brown suede. I have loved these this season. Love them with a mini dress, love them with that denim dress from Madewell I talked about. Love them with a midi skirt or a maxi skirt. Just they're great. Duo Boots as a brand, so good. I've tried so many of their boots now, and I think they currently, if it's still live when this video goes out, they have 20% off site-wide. So if you were looking to invest in a pair of leather or suede knee-high boots, or even ankle boots, they have ankle boots as well, then now would be a good time to do it because they don't often have sales. They didn't even have a Black Friday sale, but they do have 20% off now. But yeah, they're just beautiful quality, and I just feel like a knee-high boot is an essential in my wardrobe these days. I can't believe I went 27, 28 years without them. Thrilled to have them. I would love to get some more from Duo Boots. I'd love to get a black suede pair. I don't have a black suede pair, and sometimes when I'm doing an outfit, I really want a black suede pair of knee-high boots. So that will be on my wardrobe wish list probably for 2026, which will be another video later on in January. Okay, just two more things to speak about now. I have to mention my Suzanne scarf. I've blanked on the name of it. What is the name of it? The PO scarf. The one I bought a month or two ago. I've been loving that. I know it's quite a recent buy as well, but this is the second half of the year purchases. I just love it. I knew I would. I knew as soon as I saw it on the website, I knew I would love it. I don't know what took me so long to buy a PO scarf because now I'm obsessed with them and I want every one they come out with. They're a really fun thing from Suzanne to kind of collect because they are they're £70. They're not too expensive and they just are so fun to add to an outfit. I think you can style them in so many interesting ways. Love it. Would highly recommend. Can't wait to see what other designs they come out with next year. I've just remembered another regretful purchase. Actually, I was looking in my wardrobe thinking there must be something else I regret. I have to make this video more interesting. Yes, there is one more thing. A pair of jeans from Frame. I got these black slim palazzo jeans from Frame and I just am not a black jeans person. Do you know what it is? They accumulate fluff like nothing I have ever seen. Comment if you feel me on this. Black denim just is made of, I don't know what it is, but everything sticks to it. And it's not just that it's black. I know obviously because it's black, all like the white fluff is going to show up more on a black denim compared to a blue denim. I get that. But it's the actual material of them. They're almost sticky. They everything just accumulates on them and they just get so messy and so fluffy so quickly. And I find myself not wearing them because of that. And also, again, I'm just not really a black clothing wearer. So why did I need a pair of black jeans? It's a really good question. I think I fell into that trap that so many people fall into of thinking, I need this, I need this, I need this. This is part of a capsule wardrobe. I need a pair of blue jeans, black jeans, white jeans. I need a pair of black tailored trousers. I need a white shirt, you know, that kind of thing, which I always preach against. I think I fell into it myself thinking, well, I've got a blue pair of these jeans that I love. I'll get the black pair and I'll wear them just as much. No, I don't. I don't really wear black. So that's definitely a regret purchase because they're really expensive jeans as well. They're really expensive. Ugh. So yeah, that's my final regret purchase. I'm actually sad about that one of 2025. Let me know your regretful purchases or your best purchases of 2025. I would love to know. I'm always really interested in hearing what people have really loved and really hated throughout the year. Don't forget to browse my Idyl favorites in the description box down below and utilize my discount code. If you do want to treat yourself to a little diamond jewelry piece, you won't regret it, I'm sure. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all doing really well and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.